Hello, my beautiful people of Earth. I am excited about this one because, against everything I've said so far, I'm going to reveal a bunch of the book, still like rough form, like the stick figure version still with no final art. So in these pages there might be a couple things that are ready to go, but there's also in these pages I notice, well, you know what? Just the first page. No, the 12th. And the 14th. We do at least 15 pages now. Well, here, I'll show you the first. So like, I took this photograph, but it won't be a photograph in the final book. I'll draw that in some style. And here's a point on style. I had this insane idea when I first started to do this book in dozens of different styles to match the era and the mood, and it was just way too ambitious for the scope of the work. I mean, if I don't live to finish it and I do need backup, that might be the way it turns out. My notes will say, please redo this and this, blah, blah, blah. And I think I've mentioned my dream guide, if he were to do it all, is Chris Blaine is a French cartoonist. I just love his style, and I think it would suit this kind of melancholy but funny and weirdly kinetic story, because I shoved 50 years in less than 200 pages, which is insane. Okay, so if you've read ahead, I'll read it just to make it clear for everybody too. If an ant loses its colony, it will spend the rest of its life trying to find it and will often fail. And I've got that white line pointing at, obviously, an ant, a random ant who has lost its colony. And I'm actually in there. I'm pointing at nothing right now, so I'm not sure. Like, let's say, oh God, this is one of the panels, and then, this is the other one, whatever. I'm in there on the right, mirroring that idea. Another thing about this photo and where I am is I did shoot with my kids the beginning of, like, the first 10 minutes of the pilot of the show that I would really like to follow, Leopold and Brink 5, which I call Leopold and Brink 6 now, but it actually has a name, Study Lab. I even found the perfect Reichstop song for the intro, and I'm going to beg them to use it. And then, I say uh-oh because I see a figure looking at me with a kind of official outfit, which you can't tell because this is, say, a stick figure land. But that's the Sulis character in her white, I don't know if you watched enough videos to see, she normally has like a white uniform. I'm doing this because the zipper goes like diagonally. It's pretty cool. And I'm bathing, and I'm like, oh, this is organic, assuming she's angry at me bathing with substances in the pristine, beautiful thing. Oh, I mentioned because this is actually where we shot that thing. It was really cool. This is National Reef, National Reef, what the fuck? Capitol Reef National Park. Oh, that's why I'm getting confused with the national. And we left it pristine, of course. I'm madly in love with this park. I spent a lot of time walking around here fictionally, but also in reality. Okay, that's page 1. Making an excuse. She comes closer, and she looks even more bemused. And so I say, I thought you were a warden. You look really familiar. Are you at that Mars project up the road? And then I see on her uniform this logo that I myself designed that says WTF. And I say that there's a little double entendre there. How are you? And then she cuts me off and says, look, we have a lot of ground to cover, so I'm just going to jump to the big reveal. You know that story you've spent a lifetime trying to get into the world to justify your existence? Where Brink uses her machine to create immersive simulations of the past to help design green cities of the future? And I'm like, I'm freaked out, but I have a little heart shape around my question mark. And she says, yeah, well, it turns out this is one of those. and you're one of our avatars. At that point, I, of course, sneeze and start freaking out because a character I've created is talking to me in what I think is the real world. And I buckle over and say, what have I done to myself? What did I eat? Where's my phone? I'm hallucinating. Is it from yesterday? I almost throw up. And she says, rudely, are you ready to get started? And then I run the fuck away, as any rational person would. And she goes, yeah, makes sense. And so this next panel, the second tier, first panel, this is the magic of this absolutely beautiful, perfect medium that we call comics for some reason. It says huff, huff, and then these three, H-U, H-I, and H-I-I. This is the kind of stuff where it's completely your interpretation. Like, am I making sounds with my mouth? Are these like, is my heart going, like what's going on? And like, you creating it is what makes this medium so magic. The next one I am thinking, hikers, excitedly, because I see people that are, I hope are normal. And like, here's an example of this is the draft, because I have a little thing that says Coconino Nod. And if you're a cartoonist fanatic, you'll know that that's a reference to Ignatz, oh my God, Crazy in Ignatz comic, which was set almost exclusively in the high desert by, oh my God, I've forgotten everything I've ever known. What is his name? Harriman. Wow. Anyway, one of my favorite cartoonists, one of every cartoonist's favorite cartoonists, and he just do these beautiful, simplistic desert backgrounds. And so I'm going to kind of do a little nod to him there. So I'm running through the, and then I turn around like, is that her following me? Did she change clothes? And then I'm closer to the hikers. I'm sorry, help, please help. And the dude goes, the guy goes, dude, your leg. And I look down and my leg is bleeding from what looks like obvious bite marks. I go, oh yeah, that makes sense. And I drop to my knees. Finally, peaceful death with my body like shuddering from what I think is happening, being poisoned from a snake or whatever. Okay, that's page 2, that's page 3. Oh, page 4, okay. Little establishing thing of a similar environment, but like at a gas station and a coffee shop. And I'm asleep. I wake up, Ma! And again, M-A-H. What the fuck, what does that mean? That's for you. I pull my covers off to look at my leg. And I just sit up because there's no evidence of anything. And just think, oh, I had as I say, bullshit dream. I think I had horseshit in the draft there, which is my word, but whatever. And then I grab my cup and I go into the coffee shop and they say, hi, Chris, the usual. And the last panel there, I'm like, and I drop my coffee cup because I, for some reason, am seeing the thoughts of this barista in visual form surrounding her head. Next page, you get a better look at what's going on. She's reaching her hand out because she feels bad that I dropped my cup and ineffectually is trying to help. I'm picking my cup up, looking horrified, and I'm like, I'll be right back. And I run towards the bathroom and I say, thank gods, because the bathroom was available and open. I'm in there, gotta calm down. It's been really hot. Have I been hydrating? And there's like a little note there, you're sure I can't see it, that says, I hate bringing my cup in here. You know, I'm gonna drink out of it in a second. It's gross in the bathroom. And then a voice is heard, because you can see that it's not coming from me. You're not insane, sorry. And I'm like, oh no. This is a voice in your head hearing and responding to your thoughts, not a schizophrenic episode, just to be clear. What, isn't that, I say. I work with Sulis. She was real too, and what she said was true. We're at the Mars Project thing off the 12. We can explain what's going on. You know where that is, yeah? Yes. Okay, you probably want to avoid people on the way. And so I'm just running back to my car. Page 6. Okay, settle down. I'm in my car. Just go check it out. If there's no one there, or they don't know what I'm talking about, then I just drive straight to the hospital. I'm catching my breath. I ask, are you still there? Yeah, but that's a solid plan, says the voice. Then I'm driving along the 12 and I'm just thinking thoughts. You get to fill in what the hell I'm thinking about. And then I see the Mars project from the car on the bottom there. Okay, page 7. Think, over here. And it's this giant, like, planet cruising vehicle coming towards me. Did she call my name? Oh, please let this be real. Hop on in. The thing is, this is pretty much real. And, you know, I was worried, but it doesn't really matter. She's hearing my thoughts too and responding to it. And if you don't pick up on that, it's completely fine because she's just saying something that could be rational without having heard my thoughts. But just heads up, you know, almost everyone can hear inside. The thing is, this is pretty much real. Once we get these sims up and going, messing around about with them corrupts our data gathering. If we force you to help, or if we alter you to make you help, it's pointless. But Sulis, the TWF? I can't reveal more about us, and she's been trained to not answer a lot of questions. I'm one of her advisors. You can call me Az. Do you not expect me to bury you with billions of questions? No, I do, sure, and I'll answer a few, give you what you need, but we both know you're already really into this, fantasy or not. And that's a kind of a hint into how this works. Like, their avatars are picked / designed to be people that would be into helping. Sulis knows very little about you. She knows by the nature of this design, you're someone who'd enthusiastically embrace such an outrageous situation, but she has no idea how sensitive you are. Your appearance as a fully grown male, adult male, is confusing. And I think, is this negging? And she hears that and laughs. Okay, page 8. Who was that voice in my head? Is that person or AI or whatever always there? If Sulis can get you calibrated, you get to go back out into the world with a set of superpowers and a staff on demand in your head, including that voice. The thing is, the thing is, I was finally getting healthy in life, I think. I've never heard voices in my head before, and certainly never had fully immersive hallucinations. I realized that this must be some kind of coma-induced dream-like state. I'm only used to being aware of the content of my half-awake lucid dream, so maybe this is just what normal dreaming is like. It would be so me to doubt the characters in my own dreams. I don't hear a question, Az says. And then Sulis comes up. By the way, I call her Sulis. Hello again. And I'm like, so Az, while she's walking away in stick figure form, if you need a break or a change of scenery or think of any questions, Sulis deflects, I'll be inside here. Hold on, wait. If this is real, then you already know I'm having separation anxiety from you. If this isn't real, meaning if this is me having a mental collapse, then I need to panic, ask a lot more questions. Sure thing. Thank you. First of all, how could this be? How could I possibly be in a world where I've published versions of fictional characters that real people could once, very briefly, buy in comic stores, who I am now talking to? Okay, page 9. Meaning, what are we up to here again? You use me to study this simulation, which you're walking around in with avatars. Are you even people? Are you here to make me feel comfortable? Or like, that's not the problem. Sure, you could be aliens or whatever, but the thing is, this is supposed to be a simulation of the real world, right? Or is it? Like, how could Brink possibly be real? As much as I want her to be an empirically realistic character, she's a nonsense chimera, isn't she? Sure, I'm happy to clear this up, Az says. We never said Brink was real. And I cannot handle hearing that. I can barely read that. I think she's real. But that's not the problem. The issue I'm hearing you struggle with. Yes, this around us is a perfect projection of how the world was at some point. Not just the rocks, all the stuff going on out there, everywhere. But you were not part of it. We added you alongside how the actual world unfolded. That doesn't address what I said or like any of the things I did in the world. How could this be the same world? All of your memories of the things you did, the people you interacted with, all the actions you took, which more or less you really did do in this simulation, weren't significant enough to alter anything. The world would turn out like this with or without you. And I'm like, I'm just getting battered. I'm like, but aren't butterflies? Sure, butterfly effects are real. Some butterflies are just, you know, this is so awful. All right, page 10. Let me put it this way for you. This is a dream where you get to talk to someone who really wants to listen. And forgive me for reading your mind again, but, and this thought was, let's say, off screen because I was thinking of this as she's, throughout. And forgive me for reading your mind again, but we didn't generate a fat, middle-aged loser as our subject. There were many versions of you, and we have other people as interfaces before you add solipsism to your worry bank. But this version of you can handle this reality. Okay, I say. Okay, she says. Based on where my parents' ashes ended up, all this makes some sense. What do you want me to do? And then Sula's, hearing all this, says, hit me with your life story. Huh? I say. That's how we do your calibration. Basically a massive memory test. Give me what you got. Memory of what? Everything. Every memory, whenever you're ready. Every memory I've ever had, you got it. That's another thing. My memory has always been bad and it's getting worse. How could I possibly be of any value if this is the test? Page 11. And 90% of my memories are just thoughts because I spent the vast majority of what has finally been confirmed as my pointless life ineffectually navel-gazing. All memories are thoughts. Those count too. We value you, little dude. Like all parents, we spent a bloody fortune on you, on upgraded versions of ourselves, and we need you to pay off. Now have a nice hike, as says, and get this self-doubt gone for good. So I was thinking, I say as we're walking away into the desert, even with the limited amount of memories I do have, I think, won't it take hundreds of years for me to verbally describe them all? Let's take one step at a time, Sula says. What is the first thing you can remember? I mean, the last thing I remember doing before this outdoorsy lifestyle was going to help my aunts who told me Linda was on her deathbed. Linda was my mother. But wait, was there a Disney, a wedding? I'm having a difficult time with time. Is it okay if I just start from the start? Of course, that's fine. Page 12. Okay, so here's photos that I will draw. But it's a bummer because it makes it so much more fun to look at and easy to read. And this is me speaking. Sometime after the final episode of Star Trek and the first moonwalk, Paradise Island, and I have a record player playing a hit of the day, which I don't know, I'm not sure I'm allowed to include. I've got a lawyer looking at this. And then a little note that says, the only physical action of my father ever described by Linda, it's something at least. And then, I'm talking about Star Trek and the moon landing and Paradise Island, and Sulis breaks in and goes, whoa, hold up. What's all this? Oh, this is where I was conceived. And I have a little asterisk with that caption and then the asterisk on the bed. Paradise Island, she says? The Wonder Woman place? Like Wonder Woman's place? I'm like, I wish. No, it's in the Bahamas. It's called Paradise Island, June or July 1969. Okay, page 13. This color is just me playing with color palettes and stuff. I wouldn't take this seriously as the art or anything, but again, it's a palette. I was going to start with Florida being a hunk of Africa because I can't resist self-inflated globalizing framing devices. Ha! Sula says. However you want to do it, as long as you include as many actual memories you can. I'm not sure I could be linear and I've updated so many biographical details throughout my life. And isn't memory notoriously unreliable? And they are often fake anyway. Don't sweat being linear. We'll manage that. And there's no point pretending you're not real or you're not overjoyed someone is sincerely interested in listening to you talk about yourself for the first time. And then a giant shot of us in this beautiful national park where I say, this delusion, 5 stars. Okay, I'll stop there because it's gone on forever. And I think you get maybe a little bit, oh, you know what? What's the next one? No, I'll go to 15 because just the last line is a nice little reality check. All right, so page 14. Boop. Until a few years ago, I didn't really remember anything before I was 11. I've got a small box of baby photos my aunt kept, but they don't conjure anything. I actually forgot to put all the baby photos in here. But again, I'll be drawing those, not just leaving it. I don't know. There's an Italian comic media genre called fumetti, which actually uses real photographs as part of the art, if not exclusively the art. I've never been a big fan, and you know, it's validly part of the medium, but I'm probably not going to use any actual photos. Okay. I've got a small book, but I did a biographical project, which I assume you guys had me do to prepare for this. I don't know. I guess the first thing I can sort of conjure is like a soft assemblage of sensations. I think my first memory is being rocked by my grandmother, my mother's mom. I never interacted with my dad's mom. Well, no, wait. I do remember her on a deathbed and at that Coral Gables building. Oh, this is going to be a fucking mess. And page 15. You're doing great. She encourages me. And so I go on. The first super clear auditory episodic memory, I'm 4, helping Linda down a hallway. We're sitting on her bed in the dark. I can hear myself saying it, believing it. Don't worry, I'll take care of you now. My father had just died. Well, now that I think about it, that first rocking memory, maybe that was after this, me being consoled because I have 0 memories of my father and 0 memories of my mother as a mother, or being a mother. So why would I have this one random comforting moment wholly detached from before this and no others? Can you tell me something about missing memories? Like, if I'm some weird AI, did you give me the impression I had memories once and no longer do? Like, also, like, how do you explain that if you hit me with a smell or something from them, I'd imagine I'd remember something I won't if you don't? You don't need me speculating, I know. How about that first thing? Can you fill in gaps? Meaning, Sula says, can I tell you about your parents? Please? I only know what you tell me, plus some stuff I just can't share. I'm sorry. For you, does it feel like you're talking to a person? I definitely am talking to a person. And yes, that probably reveals too much about the future, but ignore that, please. You can editorialize or meander if you want, though yes, I'm only looking for what you remember. The sci-fi-ishness of this is going to trip me up for a bit. I'm sorry. Okay, I'll stop there. And I hope the sci-fi-ishness isn't too tripping for a reader, because the way this works is you probably, if you're reading this, have never heard of Leopold and Brink, or you bought this because it's getting popular and whatever. The rare few of you who have read the comic book will probably have had to have read Leopold and Brink 4, the novel, which will stay a novel. And then that makes this super rich because you've got the whole continuity, but you're still like, you know, even after, no, you really know Leopold and Brink's characters by the novel, finishing the novel. Anyway, I hope you're intrigued. I hope you want to read more. You know, it is an autobiography, which is a standard genre in comics. And it's fun and sad, and you know, there's a lot more to it. It's page 15 out of probably 150. Thanks for joining me again. And what the hell? Oh, next time we're going to do. So these are essentially stick figures, but I haven't decided how to draw me yet, and we'll talk about that next time, which will reveal tons more about the book, because is it me? Is it, you know, etc. So thanks again for joining, and I will see you next time. And I love you, and I hope you love yourself, and you can take care of every person you meet.